Sarvamangalam. Why should we study Sanskrit or Sanskritam? This amazing, beautiful language that is praised across the world, across human history, as the language of the devas or gods, the language of refined minds, the language of beauty, of talent, of wisdom, of knowledge, the language of ancient India, but also the language of the world. Sanskrit, when it is studied properly, increases memory power, dharana shakti, and this has now been proven and demonstrated in scientific research very recently. You can see the link below. Moreover, Sanskrit gives you a tremendous range of vocabulary. Imagine this. A normal human being at the age of 25 has a vocabulary of around 60,000 words at their disposal. The same person, if only he or she had studied Sanskrit in their youth, would have a vocabulary of 250,000 words. Now, this is not about pride. It is a question of the range of words available to you. Can you imagine that when you have such a wealth and richness of words at your disposal, you will be able to express yourself in much greater detail and with much greater clarity than usually. Furthermore, Sanskrit increases emotional awareness. Why? Because Sanskrit words are not just ordinary words. They always have a profound meaning. Let me give you one example. The Sanskrit word for happiness is sukha. The prefix su means good or proper or positive, and the word ka means space. So very literally, sukha means good space, positive space, to have a lot of positive space. But not only externally, when you have lots of space, also internally. When your mind is not narrow, is not held down by negative emotions or thoughts that keep burdening you, when you have a lot of inner space, then it is sukha. And the opposite of sukha or happiness is called dukkha. Du means negative, narrow, small, bad, and therefore means negative space. When you have no external space and no internal space, then it is dukkha. Then there is misery. Then there is unhappiness. When your mind cannot be vast and free. Further, Sanskrit education begins with proper pronunciation. Shiksha. It also means enunciation. How to pronounce syllables properly. In Sanskrit education, you are trained in an almost scientific way to enunciate clearly and vividly. This helps your mind to be totally aligned with the speech and body. So then your body, your speech and your mind are like one. They are like the flow of oil from one vessel into another vessel. It is one stream. Taila dhara vat. And then, when your mind is thus, your character is refined. And now the beautiful thing is this. Samskrita comes from the prefix sam, which means totally, all round, and krita means done or made. Well done, well made, all round made. That is Sanskrita. And it is thus called due to one tremendously great genius in human history called Pāṇini. Pāṇini was a grammarian who wrote the first properly structured grammar in human history. This is called Pāṇini's grammar, the Ashtadhyayi, in 8 chapters. And what he did was this. No doubt Sanskrit existed before Pāṇini, and yet it was not so structured in the Vedas and in the Upaniṣads. And there were other grammarians, but they did not create systematic grammars yet. Or they might have been lost. In any case, Pāṇini created 4,000 rules approximately, in which he explains with the greatest clarity possible all the rules of Sanskrit. And after Pāṇini, whoever learned Sanskrit then called the language Samskrita, well done, well made, well refined. And the Sanskrit word for culture is Sanskriti, refinement, doing things well. Therefore, dear friends, when you learn Sanskrit, you automatically participate in this process of refinement. Your character is refined, your emotions are refined, your thought process are refined, your way of speaking is refined, your way of living is refined. Thus, learning Sanskrit is not just about learning a language, it is about a journey of absolute refinement and ultimately sukha, happiness. Welcome to our Sanskrit course. Sarva Mangalam, may it all be auspicious.